Hello, I'm Stephanie Schweitzer-Dixon, and I am the owner of SSD-Consulting. I'm a suicidologist, a mental health educator, suicide prevention trainer. I'm also on the other spectrum of that, having worked for a nonprofit for 13 years, doing those things I just mentioned. I'm also, in that spectrum of working as a nonprofit executive director. I also, prior to that time, had worked as a grant writer and worked as a consultant to nonprofit organizations. So I have a broad spectrum of skills that I can offer to nonprofit organizations, to businesses, to first responders, which is actually my expertise, in particular different service providers. But I also have a special interest, a special skill set in forensic psychology. And so as you look at my website, as you look at my social media sites, as you review the different trainings that I can offer, you actually have the opportunity to bring a professional level of education, skills, expertise in training and education that many behavioral health counselors, many behavioral health professionals, psychologists, even psychiatrists do not have. They unfortunately did not get that skill set when they were in college, and that is really kind of a shame. As I connect with suicidologists across the country, that is one of the things that we talk about. There's white papers that have been written about that, how primary care providers, behavioral health professionals, psychologists, psychiatrists don't feel well equipped enough to handle a suicidal patient. And that's to no fault of their own, because our higher education system failed them. And once again, to no fault of their own. And as I've gone through my training throughout the years, and I've learned not that we blame anybody, not that we discredit anybody. Our society is one that still lives through stigma. It still functions through a lot of stigma, a lot of discrimination. Unfortunately, through and for people who struggle with mental illness. And that is so sad. It's just a shame. While I do have that professional education, I didn't not get all of my skill set from the book, from the studying, from the sitting and training. I can definitely say I got a good majority of it from that, but the greatest majority came from helping people with lived experience, helping people who go through and walk that walk of struggling with that mental illness or that addiction, or walking that walk of helping somebody who had that addiction or struggled with that mental illness, or being that first responder on the front lines. And I was that first responder on the front lines working with our law enforcement and our EMTs. And I did that through a loss team, which is something I help organizations, communities set up as well. And a loss team is a local outreach to suicide survivors. And my mentor was a forensic suicidologist, and he taught me a lot of what I know, but he taught me the most important thing. And he said, you can learn everything you want to learn from a book, and you can sit there and read that book, but you're not going to learn the most important thing. The most important thing you're going to learn is by listening to people. And I learned that real quickly. And I've listened to so many families, so many people, as they try to figure out how to move on from losing a loved one to suicide. And that's what a loss team does, and that's what I did for many years as a first responder, responding with law enforcement at the the scene, being at the home with the family, wherever the family's at when they've lost their loved one to suicide. And that's a humbling experience. That's a heartbreaking experience. But that's also something that I can say was one of the greatest professional growth of my career, because people with lived experience and people who we term our suicide loss survivors, unfortunately, because of what they've gone through, teach you the most important things. And they are some of the strongest people as we are resilient. And I say we because I know someone who's died by suicide. I think we've all been touched by suicide. And so I bring that to you to let you know that I have many different types of skills that I've obtained as I pull together not only the evidence-based trainings that people already hear about, mental health first aid, youth mental health first aid, the Living Works educations, the QPR Institute trainings that I can offer in person. Those trainings are required to be in person. But as the world is evolving and changing and everything is virtual and online, here at SSD-Consulting, we, like many other businesses and organizations, are moving into the world of online trainings, online technology, and providing many trainings and many educational experiences that are going to walk you through this face-to-face through the internet, face-to-face now through the internet, and offering these trainings online. So we're going to have online trainings. We're going to offer that to you as well. We can do consulting through online virtual experiences. I can do that consulting in, like I said, helping you set up loss teams, helping you set up survivor support groups, helping you do that training, helping you do the prevention, even helping you doing the nonprofit consulting, the grant writing, just a variety of different things. Everything you see on my website, we can do that virtually as well. And so as you want to learn more, as you learn more from the webinars and the online trainings that we offer, keep in touch. We can connect from anywhere in the world today, and we can move forward, work together. And also, I put up many blogs. You can learn from what I know already through the work that I've done in the nonprofit world, the work that I've done in the behavioral health field, forensic psychology field, first responder field. That is an area where I'm moving forward on law enforcement suicide prevention, which is a great passion of mine, coming from a law enforcement family and also working with first responders on the front lines, wanting to take care of those who take care of us. I have a child who has autism, and so I teach first responders how to approach individuals who have autism or developmental disabilities. That's a passion of mine, obviously, as being a mom, but also working with law enforcement and really helping them connect with individuals, because a great fear is always when individuals wander, having to find them right away. And as I've taught first responders over the years, that's been, as I find that fun to work with law enforcement and first responders, also really quite rewarding that they learn so much from me, because I can teach them the ways that I connect with my son to communicate. And that being something I really enjoy doing, I'm sure we can figure that out in the best way possible virtually as well, as that is an upcoming venture that SSD Consulting is taking on, being able to face-to-face teaching through the modalities of how do we connect, how do we communicate, how do we interact, because we can do that virtually online as well through some of the modalities that in our busy world we adapt, and we adapt as well as we move forward, even in the behavioral health field, the first responder field. So keep in touch. We have a newsletter that we will have coming out, and so you can connect through our website. You can connect through our social media sites as well. I look forward to meeting you, be it virtually or in person somehow, and staying connected. Send me a message through our social media sites or an email, and I will respond fairly quickly and look forward to connecting. Thank you.